Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Jay, this is Mike, and Cody the Barbarian is joining us for the Rob Zombie remake, Halloween 2007 Dracula. Yeah!
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah.
So who was the director of this?
Your mom?
She was! I thought it was Rob Zombie. They start the movie out as little Michael Myers. It's pretty much this gutter trash family that lives in this nice suburban neighborhood in the 70s. He goes ape shit, kills his sister, and locked up in a mental asylum until 20 years later or something like that. He goes after his...
15 years.
15 years. He goes after his, the only survivor of the Myers family, his sister. Boo. Yeah, Boo.
Boo.
One thing is, I don't like the idea that they gave Michael Myers a backstory. I never have liked that idea. The whole fact with the original one was so scary was because this kid was obviously raised right. He had a good neighborhood. Nothing was wrong with him.
State Farm was there.
State Farm was always there. and you know, nothing was wrong. And then all of a sudden he just snaps for no reason and goes on a rampage and kills his sister. I just don't like the fact that they have to give this killer a backstory.
I love the fact that they gave him a backstory. I thought the fact that he was human made it even more scary. I don't know why. For some reason, for me, that's freaky.
To me, that's why they called him the Shape. Like, there has no rhyme or reason to it. There's nothing, and it just seems like that guttural, like Rob Zombie, like, oh, I'm gonna make him an abused child. Like, that's, I don't know. It kind of gave him a reason to do what he did, and it almost like sides with Michael Myers in that.
Yeah.
It's the beginning part I hate. I absolutely hate the whole part with the kid, seeing him as a kid. I didn't like the kid.
I thought they should have completely gotten rid of that, and then just showed maybe the beginning of the movie, him being at the truck stop, and then doing clips of like flashbacks of how his childhood was, and then really dug down deep into the when he was in with Dr. Loomis and we were trying to figure him out. I thought that was important, and I loved the fact that they did that. I didn't like the kid at all.
Well, that's the thing is, Cody and I are in agreement on that, and Mike, I'm sure, would be too. Is the whole scene in the psychiatric hospital when Dr. Loomis is psychoanalyzing him? I like those scenes. I enjoyed those scenes where Dr. Loomis is trying to reach Michael Myers, and you can kind of see his isolationism that he withdraws into himself, and Loomis just can't reach him.
But he also put his own twist on it. That's the reason I love this film, is just because it's much more realistic. I mean, it's more likable to happen in that scenario than it is in the original. I thought that Rob Zombie set out to do one thing, and that was to make Michael Myers scary again, and he did. The mask is always a big part. Yeah. The zombie's mask was just, it wasn't a replica. It didn't look exactly like it. He put his own spin on it, but it did have that mean blank face, and I love that about it.
Well, I will give Zombie credit where credit's due. The death scenes in this are amazing. It's just like you were saying, Cody, how big he was and intimidating he was. It was realistic. It was the first time in a while that Michael Myers didn't feel hokey. Like, he was just big, and he was mean, and he was pissed off. And also the cinematography is amazing. I think Rob Zombie as a cinematographer is great, and I think filming death scenes he's great at. It's just the writing and the filth and the constant need to just be gross that I don't understand.
Well, for this movie, what really helped it, and one thing, I'm glad that they kept the Halloween theme going through. That was good. Like
they did good with the music. Yeah,
that's one thing. What makes the movie for me has always been McDowell and Tyler Mane as Michael Myers. Like, those two guys, I think, played those parts. And the sheriff, also the sheriff. Those three guys, Brad Dourif, all three of those guys made this movie, because without them, I don't think it would have worked.
Yeah. But with Dr. Loomis, I will say in this one, he's much more live, he's much more animated in this one. I do love that about him, and I thought he nailed that. And for somebody, they said that he had never even seen the movie when they filmed this.
They did a great job with casting. I think they did a great job with casting, with the exception of Sherry Moon Zombie and the family. The family when Michael Myers was a kid. Aside from that, everybody was casted great.
Well, actually, I like I know he's a piece of shit. I don't know why I liked it, but I just thought the dude was so funny. It's like, take that damn mask off. Like, I don't know. Like, he just played that. He played the perfect asshole.
He was funny, but
But that's the thing. I just it's constant.
Can't you see I'm all broke up here, bitch?
And that's my thing. Why does everybody have like a really strong hickish Southern accent when you're in Illinois? Like,
there's like 3 rules of a Rob Zombie movie. 1, you gotta curse a shitload. 2, you gotta be a dirty, filthy son of a bitch. And 3, you have to have a beard. Yeah. The director's cut, which they have the scenes, of course, where Robbie's it's gotta be a filthy rape scene in it, and they gotta show him getting mistreated and all stuff like that. It's just completely unnecessary.
That's why I say, if you watch this film, or if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you haven't, but if you do watch it, you need to watch the theatrical version, because the uncut version is terrible.
What did you guys think of the ending of the movie? Like, where it showed that last
shot? For me, if that was the way that Zombie was going to leave the project alone and be done with it, that was fine. But because they made a sequel to it, it's dumb. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the idea of her blowing his fucking head off. or whatever, because that's what you thought happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they cut to like the Super 8 film with him holding the baby and her crying and syncing it up with the baby's cries. That's just, it's such an artsy fartsy touch to the end.
Well,
I didn't
it's once
like
again
it.
humanizing him and making you feel bad for him almost. Like I don't
Well,
want to feel bad for Michael Myers. I want to be afraid of him.
And that's what he said. He said, well, give Tyler Mane credit because he showed that, people thought I used different masks because he could show sympathy, for, I don't want to see fucking sympathy for Michael. I like that whole fucking scene when he goes to the attic and he drops to his knees and he's trying to give her the picture. I'm like, come on, man. You're Michael Myers. You're not going to worry about...
Well, he did something like that in the fifth one.
It was a Kodak moment, though. You could have snapped the pictures like, oh, it's the big scary man who wants a hug.
Honestly, I would have preferred to see an ending a lot like the first one. Where they left it up in the air. With this one here, your initial thought is,
definitively over.
She just shot him and he's done.
I remember talking about that coming out of the theater. They're like, well, there's no sequels. I love the last shot of her screaming with the blood all over after she's pulled the trigger. It's going to be a 7.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 7.5 as well.
Just completely disregarding the first 30 minutes of the film, I'd give it an 8.0.
So overall, Cody's going to give it an 8.0, Mike's going to give it a 7.5, I'm going to give it a 7.5. So what's the question?
The question is, what did you guys think about this movie? What do you think about Rob Zombie as a filmmaker in general? The House of a Thousand Rejects, House of a Thousand Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, all that stuff like that. For me, it's just like, you know what? Anybody can take a camera and be like, I'm going to be as nasty as possible and put a bunch of schlock on film and set it out there.
He's the kind of guy that would be a scene where you're taking a shit and then he has to show the turd going down the toilet.
What do you think about Rob Zombie and his films?
Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm Jay, this is Cody, and this is Michael. We'll see you next time.
Go fuck yourself.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.